Good morning to you. I'm Wendy Burke and this is the CBC Morning Report for Tuesday, November 23rd. In our top story, LIAT 1974 limited workers here and in the other 9 islands where it operated are being offered a 50% compassionate payment and not severance by the Antiguan government. A letter sent to staff dated November 19th says the Cabinet of Antigua and Barbuda met on the 17th and discussed the 120 million Eastern Caribbean dollars owed to former staff, which comprises severance and other liabilities. The Morning Report spoke with Patterson Thompson, the president of the Pilots Association. Using a hypothetical payout of $200,000 in severance across the board with all entitlements, half would work out to $100,000. Of this amount, a third is in land, $33,000. Then 33% in 10-year bonds, and the other $33,000 as a credit toward the purchase of land. Thompson told Morning Report this will not cut it. He believes all the shareholders have a moral obligation to take care of the former staff, and Prime Minister Gaston Brown should honor the owed entitlements. Also, his waiver of the alien land license is a good move because you can sell the land without penalty.
This is not a case that Barbados will only pay wages and those people who work in Barbados. They have a moral responsibility, Ms. Burke, to take care of all the workers who work for LIAT. But are they really for labor if you're going to take these positions? And my point to you is, Ms. Burke, because of politics and because of how divisive LIAT was over the years, we're divided, united we stand, divided we fall right now. So one person going in one direction, nobody has heard anything from the current other than he only wanted to pay his pensions because he has the least to pay, but that is not fair. I am saying to you that Mr. Brown should first honor what he said he would do in the meeting. Owed entitlements, pay 50% on that. He has honored that he would waive the alien owner's land license. That is a significant gesture because it means then that somebody get a piece of land and you can sell it straight away without any penalty. That is significant. He has also attached the value of UWI education. That is significant for people in Antigua, Ms. Burke. But a man living in Barbados and St. Lucia doesn't want to come to Five Islands for university education. So, if he gets a piece of land in Antigua, he will waive those things and he can convert the land into cash. That is significant. Okay. But what we want him to do, though, is to honor the 60% or paying 50% of the owed entitlement. What I would also like Mr. Brown to do is to speak to his prime ministers, call a meeting amongst them and say, look, this is what I have done. What else can you do for the workers?
Mr. Thompson said the deal on the table is being offered individually and not collectively. So it's up to the workers to decide if they want to take it.
This is not an issue of collective right. This is up to the individual to decide. All the other unions, which again, this is why it's a very difficult proposal, would have had to agree, Ms. Burke. 636 workers from 10 different islands having to agree on one proposal. That is extremely difficult, Ms. Burke. And two, if you look at the cabinet letter, it gives you no structure. It tells you when you will be paid. It doesn't tell you where the land is. It doesn't tell you anything about the value of the land, how you go about accessing the potential concept. That is a problem. I don't think Mr. Seaforth is involved in this. Because if anything, this is what is confusing to a lot of people too. How can the Prime Minister, who amended the law, who went to court, now buy the chattel asset, all at the same time? How is it possible that he could do all these things at the same time, Mr. Burke? Or how many hats is he wearing in this situation? Any purchase of anything out of there has to go through the administrator. So what is going on here is that the Prime Minister is offering us an apparent compassionate severance with a stipulation. So it can't be compassionate. It's a deal. You agree?
Yeah.
Because what he's saying is, when you agree to this deal, you are waiving your rights to any legal action against the successor company of LIAT 1974 Limited, which is LIAT 2020.
Next on CBC Morning Report, updates on the COVID-19 pandemic. "149 new COVID-19 cases have been reported from Sunday's test, 63 males and 86 females. The Basto Santos Public Health Lab conducted 1,241 tests. The positive cases comprised 33 people under the age of 18. There are now 715 people in isolation facilities and 7,531 in home isolation. Meanwhile, one person died from the virus on Sunday. A 93-year-old woman passed away at the Harrison Point isolation facility. She was fully vaccinated. French President Emmanuel Macron is contending that anger about a vaccine mandate in the French Caribbean territory of Guadeloupe has created an explosive situation. A general strike called by trade unions has entered its second week following nights of looting and violent protests against coronavirus measures imposed by Paris, including health pass rules and mandatory vaccinations for health workers. Christophe Wachter is the Economic, Social and Environmental Council in Guadeloupe, and he says people want to speak with the government in order to reach common ground.
We have a very difficult situation in Guadeloupe because the population have a lot of difficulties to speak with the authorities. For a long time we had, and our youth have a lot of problems with the authorities. We are jobless, and we don't like to execute orders from the authorities. It's our ADN, DNA. We are like this in Guadeloupe. And some people in some situation, especially nursing staff and civil security, don't want the vaccine. And they wanted to discuss with the government about this fact. They don't want the vaccine. And the young rebels went to the streets and put barricades everywhere and burn everything because there is a confusion now in our country. Some people don't want the vaccine, and the youth rebels want to show this and want to to speak with the government. It's our main objective. We want to speak with the government, and we want the government to understand our specificities.
Austria has become the first country in Western Europe to reimpose a full coronavirus lockdown to tackle a new wave of infections. Austria will require its entire population to be vaccinated by February.
The lockdown is back in Austria as Europe shivers at the onset of a fourth wave of COVID-19. This is Salzburg, one of the worst hit places where intensive care units are filling up. Last month, the national daily infection rates were around 3,000 cases per day. They're now hovering between 14 and 16,000. In the capital, Vienna, Christmas lights may be on, but like everywhere else, shopping has stopped for all but essential items. Stores are closed. People are allowed out for an occasional stroll in this lockdown. There's plenty to see, but not to buy. The manager of this restaurant has closed down and is giving his fresh produce away to locals. He's pessimistic.
I think everybody has enough of it, and the question is, why again? Wasn't there enough time to prepare? We have the lockdown now because obviously it's needed.
Not far away, the Christmas market, usually bright and busy at this time of year, is a sullen place. The lockdown is scheduled to last up to 20 days with a review after 10, although many people fear it could last a lot longer. And with the restrictions come an even bigger emphasis on the vaccination program. Only 66% of the population have been vaccinated, leaving one of the biggest proportions of unvaccinated people in Europe. So the government will introduce compulsory vaccinations in February. It's led to resistance and protest. This woman has just had her third vaccination, a booster jab. Yet she says people shouldn't be forced to have vaccinations.
We had a chancellor who had made only marketing for his career, but he didn't explain, and they didn't make a good preparation to ensure that everyone will be vaccinated.
Capitals across Europe are watching Austria closely as they consider their own restrictions. Here, the daily number of deaths caused by the coronavirus has tripled in recent weeks. This lockdown is a last resort.
The German health minister has warned citizens that they will either be vaccinated, cured, or dead from COVID-19 by the end of winter, as several European countries impose restrictions amid surging infections. As intensive care beds fill up fast, Germany's worst-hit regions have ordered new shutdowns, including the closure of Christmas markets.
Ende dieses Winters.
Probably by the end of this winter, pretty much everyone in Germany, it has sometimes been said somewhat cynically, will have been vaccinated, recovered, or have died. But it's true. With the highly contagious Delta variant, this is very, very likely.
Health Minister Jens Spahn saying effectively that he believes that at the end of this winter, people will either have caught COVID and recovered from it, been vaccinated, or have died from it. Pretty dire warnings there. We also know that Angela Merkel, the caretaker chancellor, has been saying to people in her inner circle of ministers and colleagues that she believes that the measures in place right now aren't enough. The problem, in a nutshell, is that there are around 15 million adults in Germany who have not had the vaccine. Now, that number will include some who've recovered from having COVID and have to wait to have the jab. But the vast majority of that number contains people who, until now, despite having the really easy access to a vaccine for effectively the last 6 months, have chosen not to. Those are the people that ministers are beseeching almost to get vaccinated, and yet they still won't. In several states around this country, the uptake of the vaccine is lagging behind the national average. In one particular one, in Saxony, it's far below the average. The average here, 2/3 of people have been vaccinated. But it's pretty clear that governments, both the caretaker government and the parties who are negotiating with each other to replace this government, to replace Angela Merkel's government, they're all deeply concerned.
And it's time now for a preview of what's coming up on Morning Barbados. Good morning to you, Pearson. Jeremiah Bowen.
Not bad, it's biblical. Thank you, Wendy Jezreel Burke. Good to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm great, and Jezreel is actually an address in St. Philip.
See how life worked out this morning for us both? Biblical name, address name for you. Good to see you. When you join me here at 6:30 for Morning Barbados, just ahead of tomorrow's Higher Education Virtual Expo, we'll be connecting with the Information Officer with the Barbados Accreditation Council, Marcus Myers, to bring us up to date. How are they preparing and just what can we expect, but most of all, how can we register to be a part of it? We'll meet the parish ambassadors and attendant for the parish of St. Peter today. They'll join us just ahead too of the upcoming Spirit of the Nation show, and we'll find out who will be the outstanding parish ambassadors for 2021. And of course, it's Tuesday's Equal Pediatric Care. Dr. Birch will join us when we look at the top 5 things that concern parents about their toddlers. What are they? We'll share with you from 6:30 this morning when you join me. Wendy Jezreel, back to you.
Thank you, Pearson Jeremiah. We'll see you in a bit. We'll take another break and return with more news. The process is now much faster and easier for Barbadians to apply for and receive energy licenses. That's the assurance from Energy Minister Carrie Simmons, who says Cabinet has approved a revised licensing regime. Featuring an automated system, it fast-tracks the issuance of licenses under the Electric Light and Power Act and boosts efficiencies with the process. With some of the backlog now cleared, a record number of licenses have already been issued this year when compared to 2020.
The year 2018, Barbados was able to approve and grant a total of 59 renewable energy licenses. This year, 2021, to date, a total of 364 renewable energy licenses have thus far been approved. And that is a 600% increase in the licensing rate, with at least 3 more licensing advisory committee meetings scheduled before year end. I take the opportunity also to advise that the soft launch of the new automated system is expected to take place on the 1st of December.
Minister Simmons made the revelation during yesterday's virtual Barbados Sustainable Energy Conference. He explained the country continues to make strides in the transition to electric vehicles. However, he says discussions are ongoing to introduce biofuels.
We have to do this type of work because our commitment to decarbonizing our transportation sector has simply outstripped the pace at which the global vehicle manufacturers are going and, quite frankly, can go. So as I speak to you, therefore, there are a number of makes and models and types of vehicles, especially in the heavy-duty construction sector and in the agricultural sector in Barbados, that have neither a hybrid or electric equivalent. Barbados is therefore ahead of most of the world with respect to commitments to building out a clean and a green transportation sector.
A government minister is of the view that law enforcement should not be held solely responsible for the prevention of crime and violence in Barbados. Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, Dwight Sutherland, made the comment during an event to celebrate the creative work of youth. He notes this is why his ministry continues to develop creative ways to engage young people in the anti-violence campaign, which was launched earlier this year. While referring to the high numbers of incarcerated youth, Minister Sutherland believes the campaign plays a crucial role in changing destructive attitudes before it's too late.
Can't sit idly by and say we leave it to the police force. When will the police force address these issues? Police force solve crime, and at the end of the day, the crime has been committed when the law enforcers reach these young people. Then to put them in shackles, a very painful sight for parents to take them to Her Majesty's prison does. So we have a fundamental role to play as a Ministry of Youth.
Ceremony for the anti-violence campaign essay competition. Participants wrote essays on the impacts of violence in the media on youth. Out of 26 entries, Sarah Bizram from Harrison College was selected as the winner. Jideen Hewitt and Waletta Israel Yacob, also from Harrison College, placed second and third, respectively.
As head of Prayer Warriors International and a man of God.
Apologies for that extract. Found that was indeed the founder of Prayer Warriors International, Pastor Courtney Salmon, who's calling on Barbadians to participate in a special 12-hour fast on December 1st. Speaking during a special media briefing yesterday, Pastor Salmon said he received divine instructions to organize the event.
As head of Prayer Warriors International and a man of God, a revelation was given to me at 3 a.m. on the morning of Tuesday, November the 9th. I have no reason to believe that it was not divinely given. I was called to initiate a 6 p.m. to a 6 a.m. candlelight prayer and fasting night on December 1st to prepare for our country going forward as a republic. The initiative is to have as many homes as possible light a candle in the front of or in a front window of their homes on that night. I wish to say that LED candles or battery lanterns can also be used.
Elder Affairs Minister Cynthia Ford is supporting the initiative and the call for prayers.
I support strongly the efforts for prayer. We are a Christian society and we want to continue as best as we possibly can to continue to reach out and touch lives, especially now in this time of COVID-19 and the large numbers of persons who are impacted upon in whatever way, whether it be through illnesses or loss of employment or dislocation in their family and even loss of life.
A far-right former congressman is leading Chile's presidential election and looks likely to face a runoff with a former student activist. With nearly 97% of the vote counted, Jose Antonio Cas had 27.94% versus 25.75% for Gabriel Boric, with a sizable gap between them and the rest of the field. Both were well short of the majority needed for an outright win, meaning Chile is headed for what is likely to be a polarized runoff next month.
Far-right candidate Jose Antonio Cast is leading with 28% support. He'll be going head-to-head with former student protest leader Gabriel Boric, who locked in 26% of the vote. Daniel Schweimler has more now for us from the capital, Santiago.
Jose Antonio Cast and Gabriel Boric analysing the figures from Sunday's vote. When you look at the figures, 54% of the Chilean electorate did not vote. They abstained for one reason or another. So you look at the votes that the two candidates going through to the second in December actually got. Jose Antonio Cast got the most votes, 13% of the total electorate. Gabriel Boric, 12%. So that's only 1/4 of the Chilean electorate. So those two candidates now, I mean, Cast is out there, we've heard this morning, talking to the electorate, trying to convince the votes for the 5 candidates now eliminated from the race, and those 54% who didn't vote, trying to get them to vote for them on the 19th of December when the two run off in a head-to-head contest. We've got two extreme candidates, Cast of the extreme right and Boric of the far left, neither of whom accepts the politics of their rival candidates, and an electorate supporters who also don't accept the kind of politics that the two men espouse. We've talked a lot about change here in the last 2 years in Chile. There have been mass protests on the street. The constitution is being rewritten. That will fundamentally change Chilean society. So really we have a very divisive situation, and we should have some interesting few weeks ahead of us.
In sports, it's day 3 of the first test, Windies versus Sri Lanka at Gulf International Stadium, and the Windies are attempting to rally from a ticklish overnight position. The Caribbean cricketers began this day on 113 for 6 in reply to the home team's first innings score of 386. Let's first look at the highlights from day 2. It's partly cloudy. Outside feels as if it's 29% with a humidity of 75%. The barometric pressure stands at 1010.8 millibars and the winds are coming from the east at 24 kilometers per hour. The tides, low tide will be at 19 minutes past 11 and high tide at 6:30 a.m. with a second high tide at 5:26 p.m. The seas are smooth to moderate in open water with swells ranging from 1 to 1.5 meters and steady. The forecast for today, sunny at first, becoming a mix of sunshine and clouds with a few scattered light to moderate showers towards evening. Tonight it's expected to be a mix of clear skies and clouds with a few brief scattered light showers. And here now is a look at our international cities. That's today's morning's report. Our next newscast on TV8 will be at noon. We now join Pearson for Morning Barbados.
Wake up! Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you everyone, everywhere. Welcome to today, Tuesday, November the 23rd. We are literally 7 days away from Independence Day, from when we begin our celebrations as a republic. So we're looking forward to all that it offers and all that it brings. I'm Pearson Bowen. Welcome you here in Barbados and those of you watching us across the globe, viewing us via our YouTube channel and our Facebook stream. Remember to like our page, Mornin Barbados on Facebook. You can see us there. You can see what we do there too. Now this morning, Tuesday, we will be connecting with Dr. Birchwood to look at some of those 5 things that concern you as a parent of a toddler. What are they? Could it be that their toddler is a picky eater, having difficulty sleeping, a whole host of things? And how do you solve those situations? What should we be concerned about? Dr. Birchwood will share with us a little later on. In our real estate segment with Agent Sharita, if you've just put your foot into the pool as being one who is into the real estate market, renting your property for short-term rental, how do you rise to the top? There are a number of things that you need to consider as well. So Agent Sharita will join us to talk a little bit more about that. And Thornwood would come by. He has a couple more national athletes who he will showcase as he has been doing all month long. And so we'll get to meet them and know a bit more about their exercise regime as well. Let's get started now by turning our attention to the upcoming Higher Education Virtual Expo hosted by the Barbados Accreditation Council. Joining us to talk a bit more about that now is the Information Officer with the BAC, Marcus Myers. Marcus, good morning to you.
Morning, Pearson. How are you doing? And good morning, Barbados.
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How do you do?
Oh, I'm doing great. Well, I am here very excited for the event tomorrow. And I'm also excited to talk to Barbados about it.
We're a couple hours away. We're literally some hours away from the start of it. It starts at 10 tomorrow morning. How have preparations been going?
Oh man, preparations have been so good. I guess because one of the good things that came out of the promoting of this event is I also get to speak to some persons on different platforms about what the Barbados Accreditation Council does. Because there's some persons who still they know what we do, but they don't really know some of the details. So getting that word out there was kind of like a consolation prize for me before the event even started.
So for clarity for anyone who didn't get the chance to ask you those questions, what is the Barbados Accreditation Council and what is it that you do?
Okay, well, the Barbados Accreditation Council has 2 broad roles. The first role is the registration and re-registration and accreditation and re-accreditation of post-secondary and tertiary training programs and institutions and the courses of study that they offer. So what does all of that mean? Basically, that means that we are the sole body that ensures that institutions and programs meet a certain quality in the educational offering that they provide to students. So it is very important that persons, when they decide to pursue higher education, that they speak to the Accreditation Council first, so that they have the confidence in knowing that what it is that they're interested in is a recognized institution or recognized program.
And that's so critical because so many courses now are offered online, and you know how online activity goes. You can be tricked into what you're doing, and so for you at the end of your course of study, you may have spent quite a bit of money to achieve what you thought you were achieving, then to discover that it is of little or no value. And so it's so important that we talk to you guys first to find out whether or not the institution with which I have registered for this course of study is indeed an accredited institution, and that the certificate or degree, whatever it is I gain, is one that will be globally recognized.
Yes, yes, Pearson, and that's a good point that you make, that there are persons, and seeing that we're on the front line of it, we have so many persons that may call and they ask after the fact that they did a program or they got a certificate, and they ask about whether or not the institution is accredited, and we have to give them the sad news that it isn't, right? And which is one of the things that we really try to promote, that persons should really check first the recognition status of the course or program that they want to do, especially in this online environment where there's so many different things that are thrown at you, different great marketing schemes that have these great programs that they're offering, but when you really do some more research, you find out that the program is not worth its salt, to say the least.
And that also applies to us here, those areas, those people who offer online courses as well, to be accredited and to or be re-accredited, because there are people in the region who want to access your services, and they want to know that when they access your services, at the end of it all, they can now use that as a prerequisite for them acquiring their skill certificate as well, something that's legitimate. So if you operate a business offering those kinds of training opportunities, accredit yourself with the Barbados Accreditation Council. Make sense?
Exactly.
Thank you. I like the way you
Could have said it better.
Exactly. All right. So tomorrow from 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to be a part of the Higher Education Virtual Expo. It is really going to be a space where online, where all of us can come and explore our possibilities. So talk to me about what we can expect tomorrow.
Yeah, so usually we would have our open day where we would have, it would be physical. You would come to us in our Warren's location. There would be tents, pamphlets, all of that. Because of the current restrictions, we decided, well, this is actually an opportunity for us to bring the expo to you. So then we have, what we have planned is basically, we have, if you can imagine, the virtual booths. So usually you would see like booths at an expo where you can go and get pamphlets, but in this case it's virtual, where you can go into different windows on this latest technology named Hopin. It's the Hopin website, and you can explore the different accredited and recognized institutions that will be there. So it will not only be us, it will be some of the institutions that we have registered, such as for example the International Academy of Cosmetology. There will also be the Barbados Community College. There will be the Erdeston Teachers Training College, and then also our accredited institutions such as UE, Phil, and Open Campus. And we're going to have our partners that I'm really glad that they are on board with this project. We have the National Transformation Initiative for persons that want to do their courses using Coursera, where they can do courses that are for free.
So it's a vast range of services that people will be exposed to once they log in and register. So how can we register to explore and expand our experience?
Yeah, so you can go to our social media, the Barbados Accreditation Council on Instagram or Barbados Accreditation Council on Facebook. And you can also go on our website, bac.gov.bb, bac.gov.bb, and you will see the link there. From there, you can just go through the registration process. Registration is easy. Just sign up with a Hopin account, and from there you would have access to everything. And I want to say that we're going to have giveaways for the entire day. The reason for that is because we said that the theme of the day is adapting today for a better tomorrow. And it's something that we all have to do. And one thing that we acknowledge at the Barbados Accreditation Council is that adaptation is not easy, because adaptation, as you know, will be investment. The same way that we're talking on this platform, you need the technology to adapt. So we're going to be giving away some really nice prizes. I will say that. I mean, we have a headphones, backpack. I mean, we also have a tablet that we're going to be giving away. I mean, we're doing it big. We want to really give back and take you on this adaptation journey with us.
And a part of the adaptation too is to adapt the way we think, the way we view how we do what we do. You know, while we're doing it virtually, we also have to position our mindset to acknowledge that it is a different world in which we operate now. And so I have to be able to be skilled enough to be able to compete with somebody that's across the globe, because they're over there competing with me. And so that's all part of the process, as well as we engage with the National Transformation Initiative and all of the other key stakeholders who will be a part of the expo with you tomorrow, showing us how we can get ourselves ready to be global citizens.
Yes, exactly, and that's exactly what we want, because our mantra at the Barbados Accreditation Council is being your gateway to global recognition. So if you decide that you want to get international qualifications and you want to know how they compare locally to Barbadian qualifications, you can come to us for that. If you're interested in getting the CARICOM skill certificate, so you can have your skill recognized across the region, you could come to us for that as well. And also, if you want to go to an accredited school where you have a transferable qualification where anywhere you go, it will be recognized in that region or jurisdiction. Come to us for that as well. So it's definitely going to be a wide range of things for you to do. It's going to be hosted by award-winning media consultant Bell Holder. It's going to be amazing.
Right. Now, oftentimes when we hear of this, we think it's for those young ones who've just probably left secondary school who are looking for opportunities. But no, this I suppose, this higher education virtual expo is open to any age and any skill set.
Yes, indeed. Any age, any skill set. And we want to make it, because we want to make it as inclusive as possible. And one thing that I love about the National Transformation Initiative is they preach a lot of intellectual diversity, because there are many Bajans who have a various set of skills, and we agree. Even in our CARICOM skill certificate, there are 12 different categories of eligibility, from security guards, teachers, musicians, artists, graduates, going across the range of skills. And we want it to be as inclusive as possible, no matter what age you're at, and no matter where you are in your educational journey at the higher education point. If you want to pursue personal development and career advancement and being more marketable to employers, I really encourage that you come. It's definitely for all persons. Just register for free.
Let's talk that registration now. Where can we go to register again? Give us that website. Make it slow and easy so I can remember. My old brain doesn't tick as young as yours. So talk to me. Where do we go to register?
No problem. Okay, so go to our website, bac.gov.bb. You're going to see a link. Now that link will take you to hopin.com. We're using the Hopin platform, where basically it would facilitate all of this. It is an immersive and interactive technology. It's kind of like Zoom, but even more so, more expansive. It has a lot more technology and different things to make you feel included in certain conversations and discussions. So you can go on our website. You can also go and find the link on our social media, Barbados Accreditation Council. On Facebook or Instagram, and you can register. Just sign up on that same Hopin platform, and it would take you straight through, and you would be eligible for joining us tomorrow.
I like the fact that you're offering so many other booths there. You know, you have the UE Open and KFIL campuses, the American University of Barbados, the International Academy of Cosmetology School, the Barbados Civil Aviation Training Center, the College of International Radio Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. So there are many, many agencies that are partnering with you so that we can really transform and make ourselves far more adaptable today for that world tomorrow. And that's what's absolutely critical. It's free. Registration is free. Registration is easy, most of all, but we have 5 hours in which we can really go in and out from booth to booth. We can probably log out, log back in. It's a whole day, literally from 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, from 10 o'clock in the morning, and from 10 to 11 will be our opening ceremony, and you would hear some words from our very own Minister of Education. She will be there, the Honorable Ms. Santia Bradshaw, to give her keynote address. And you'll also hear from the Director of the National Transformation Initiative, as well as the Executive Director of the Barbados Accreditation Council. They would all be speaking about exactly what adapting today for a better tomorrow means for persons at higher education. And from there, we will then move on to having our BAC forum, and then there will be an NTIA discussion. And from there, we would have breakout booths where you would see. You can plan your day from the agenda. The agenda is on the main Hopin website when you log in, and you can decide, oh, well, I'm interested in teaching. I can go into Erdiston's booth at this time. I'm interested in doing cosmetology. I can do the international cosmetology at this time. If I want to go to Open Campus, I can do that as well. If I want to go to SJPI, I know SJPI has their booth open from this time to this time. So you can plan your day to suit, depending on what your needs may be.
The way we would have at a physical expo anyway, the way we walk in and out of different doors and go to different experiences, the same thing happens on the platform tomorrow. Yes. When does registration end? Or can I register tomorrow at 2 o'clock?
Well, yes, you can register tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I do recommend that you register early. And because we're going to have giveaways throughout the day, we're going to have like a spin the wheel, we're going to have so many different things. I do encourage persons to come in as early as possible. But in the event that you can't and you have to come in quickly, Yeah, you could come in while the actual event is going on, but I do still encourage that persons register as early as possible. And if they just need to get some more information about registration, they could contact us on Instagram or Facebook, or also via our office number.
It sounds as if it's going to be quite good, quite good. I commend it to all of you. Folks, listen, it's tomorrow from 10 o'clock in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. So it doesn't take up a major part of your day, but it's a good experience to have for 5 hours, at least online, with the Barbados Accreditation Council partnering with the National Transformation Initiative. It's the Higher Education Virtual Expo tomorrow. Tomorrow. So don't dilly-dally on registering to be a part of it tomorrow. Thank you so much, Marcus. I got you. Marcus Myers, Information Officer with the Barbados Accreditation Council. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Pearson, and thank you, Barbados, for listening.
You're very welcome indeed. So, folks, it's when? Tomorrow. We'll take a break right there. We're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Join us, the Barbados Accreditation Council, for our event on Wednesday, the 24th of November, 2021. Now, usually we would have our events in this car park, but this year we decided to bring the event to you. Register for free to attend the BAC's inaugural virtual expo entitled Adapting Today for a Better Tomorrow, hosted by award-winning media consultant Belle Holder. Visit the virtual booths of Barbados's recognized and accredited schools. Learn about the CARICOM Skills Certificate and how you can do courses for free with the National Transformation Initiative. Join us as we hear from Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, the Honorable Santia Bradshaw, BAC's Executive Director Lisa Gale, and NTI's Director Dr. Alison Leacock. To register, go to our website at bac.gov.bb. Sign up today. Limited spots are available.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 11 to 7 right here on Morning Barbados today, Tuesday, the 23rd of November. 7 days to go until Independence Day. 7 days to go, and literally just a matter of days really away from the start of celebrations for our transition to becoming a republic. Get yourselves ready to be a part of it all. We're joined now by the parish ambassadors and attendant for the parish of St. Peter in the upcoming Spirit of the Nation show. The ambassadors are Kwame Dowridge and LaCory Gibbons, and their attendant is Greg Agard Belgrave. Good morning, three of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a busy, well, almost 2 years for you, because there was no show last year, but you continued as parish ambassadors. Well done. How has it been for you, Kwame and LaCory? Starting with you, Kwame.
All right, for me, it has been pretty good, really good experience. I joined the program in 2020, so I have been here a while.
Feels like a while indeed. LaCory, how has it been for you?
Well, for me, it was fun, especially in the beginning. It was very encouraging, but as time passed, it was a lot of work to put in, so it became very hectic. But I think we worked together well. We had a lot of fun, and we got everything that we needed to do. We get it done. So at least that was the point of it all.
Now, you made me curious. What is it that you needed to do that you got done?
Well, as you know, every year there is a project that we are allotted. It comes with a theme. Our theme was exploring our heritage and enriching our communities. And with that, we had events lined up. However, most of those events were online. For example, we held baking classes. We interviewed the first Black speaker. We visited primary schools, also visited churches, other stuff like that. We had online presence on our Instagram, on our Facebook page, and on our YouTube page, especially with the baking classes. So that was just a bit of what we did throughout the year to reach our residents of St. Peter. And I think that although we did not reach as much as we wanted to because of the online presence, we still was able to interact with our residents of St. Peter.
And that's the thing, Kwame, you know, you would have observed how the show went over the years. You've seen other ambassadors being able to walk around, and then you couldn't walk around the way you wanted to walk around. How did that make you feel?
It was very, how would I say? It felt like the world took something away from us. It felt like the world took away the whole program at the end of the day. So we had to use technology creatively. One of our pet peeves were the Did You Know, where we went around and basically took a picture of a location. For example, the old Spikestown Library. We took a picture of the location and we asked our followers on Instagram and Facebook, do you know where this is or what was it? Right? And ask them questions to see and gauge what they know and what they don't know.
Well, and out of that, what did you find out?
But we found out that some of our residents still need a refresher, in a sense.
Yes.
A refresher on our heritage, right? So they can, quote unquote, move forward into this next era of things.
Greg, you seem to have two young parish ambassadors who are quite fun, it appears, and it must have made your work a whole lot easy for you.
Yes, it was quite easy to work with them, and I enjoyed working with them totally.
Getting them ready and ensuring that they're disciplined enough to do what they ought to do, how was that trip for you?
Well, that came a little touchy with LaCory being at university. That was kind of touch and go for her, so we had to work around her. Kwame working as well. We had to get him to work to do sessions while he was at work. So they put in the effort, and we're hoping for good results.
What got you interested in becoming an attendant, Greg?
Well, I had seen the program for many years, and at this point in time, I just wanted to give back to my community. So this was a way of me doing that.
LaCory, why did you put yourself forward to be the attendant, the ambassador for St. Peter?
Well, honestly, I believe that is a great question, and a question I like answering a lot, because I remember when, and I was around maybe 15, 16 years old. It was at my church where I saw the female ambassador for St. Peter at that time. That was Lachey, and I felt like she was very inspiring to me, and the way she stood up in front of the congregation and addressed the crowd, it made me say, you know, this is something that I wanted to do, that I wanted to be interested in. So I do give thanks to her for the inspiration, and that was one of the reasons why I joined the program.
What have you learned more about St. Peter thus far?
What have we learned about St. Peter thus far? Well, honestly, St. Peter is a very interesting parish, and going forward, we actually did a walkthrough of Spikestown where we learned a lot of stuff that we didn't even know existed. Like, for example, we visited the cannons in St. Peter, which was accompanied with a fort. The other two forts that it was with was the Orange Fort in Spikestown by the Esplanade, and also the Dover Fort, which is now located in the Coldrum Parish School. So that was something that was very interesting to me that I found out for the first time. And I know many residents didn't actually know about the mural in Prince Alfred Lane. That mural it is a hidden gem to us, and we like to call it a hidden gem because it is in fact very hidden on the side of the wall in Spikestown. But it is a gem because it takes us through the history of St. Peter, not only St. Peter but of Barbados, from like the LIAT time all the way to what Barbados is currently. So those are just the two very special hidden gems that many residents of St. Peter and outside of St. Peter may not have known about in this parish.
And that's beautiful. That's a great invitation for all of Barbados to come down and explore St. Peter some more. What about you, Kwame? Why did you put yourself forward, and what have you learned about St. Peter now that you perhaps didn't know?
Well, just like Lakori, seeing some person else doing the program intrigued my interest, but seeing it on TV, on Channel 8, all right?
Yes.
That's the only channel that I have, the only channel I ever had.
Good choice.
And I was glued to it.
Yes.
So after I finished university, I was like, hey, let me give it a try. So I gave it a try. And for me, what stood out for me is that, there's so much hidden and small things about St. Peter that you think might be insignificant, but they play a big role in the development of St. Peter, like King Coffee.
Yes.
I didn't know about King Coffee. Where was that when I was growing up? Right? I didn't know about Rampus of the Tenerife. I didn't know about that. Right? So I knew that St. Peter was connected to both sides of the island.
Right.
But I didn't know it had a name. All those things, we know about Farley Hill and we know about other major attractions, but there are so much small things that can be done, right? So we can highlight and bring not only locals, but locals need to go and see them, but for tourism that we benefit from, that can be used to ensure that St. Peter grows and develops as a town, right? And quite something develops.
Yes. I bet neither of you knows what it looked like before Haywood Spark. That set of development below the Corrigan Parish School. I bet none of you know what was on the property there. That's no Almond Beach Resort. None of you know, right?
Yeah.
You found that out.
Yeah, that was like.
Yeah, we did find it out, especially when we was learning about the Dover Fort and how we was finding out that the Haywood's battery was actually used in defense of that area. So it was a lot of research and a lot of learning that we did.
Sweet. You see, I went to school at CP, so I know. You understand? You can't trick me.
Me too. I went to school there. Yeah,
yes,
CP.
That is correct. I went to school at Legal Arts Private and at CP, so therefore I spent quite a number of years in the Spicestown area. And Greg, that's the whole point. This is all part of the journey that you guys have taken together, and there's so much that you've been able to achieve thus far. So with the rejigging of the Spirit of the Nation show, I know it's been interesting because I've been a part of the journey thus far with you as well. How has that been for you, Greg, as an attendant, though, ensuring that all of the elements come together?
Well, it has been quite interesting, seeing that we had to do a lot of virtual online sessions and stuff like that. It was a very learning experience for me, and it just shows that out of something negative comes something very positive. So you learn how to use the online platform now, and going forward, it will enhance the program even further. I believe that thoroughly.
Yes,
indeed.
Yes, very true.
You're agreeing with that, Kwame?
Very true, because the mixture of the two allows for so much things to happen.
Yes.
Like with the way the show was being done, I can keep it back, in my back pocket, right? The way the show was done this year was amazing. The way how we stitch together, how we're going to stitch together certain things, it's just amazing. And I really hope that next year we don't put away the online aspect, because even in certain schools like at the community college level and the university level, don't put away the online aspect, because the online aspect helps so much people that can benefit from them. For example, adult students, right? For students, especially in this program, like individuals that work, right? Young individuals that work, they can still partake in the program, right? So I really hope that as the years progress, individuals or organizers don't put away or put aside the online aspect, because the online aspect has helped Barbados to develop rapidly in relations to education, all right? Even though it has been difficult in relations to all other aspects, even work. You could be at home and working. You can imagine that happening? No.
One could not before today, yes. Lakori, what about you? Because you said that you were inspired by a previous ambassador who triggered it for you to make you volunteer to be a part of this program as well. I want you to look into the camera, your camera now, and talk to some young people from St. Peter and encourage them to put themselves forward to be a part of the next set of ambassadors coming forward. What do you say?
To all of the young people out there, especially the young girls that are looking to become ambassadors, what I can tell you is that if you're going to do it, you have to do it 100%. You have to do it full-heartedly, because it is not a job that you have to go halfway. Once you start this job, you have to finish this job. It is an exciting journey. You get to meet new people. You get to learn new skills. Like Kwame was just talking about the online aspect. Most people did not even know how to use certain platforms. It opens up opportunities to create new careers, new businesses, become entrepreneurs, and expand your reach to the community. It also gives you a chance to expand your skills in terms of speaking to people. It makes you more comfortable with yourself. It makes you a better person overall. It definitely grooms you to do these things. I encourage you guys to put forward this foot through the door just to see what it is really about, and it will help you for your future. It will also help you manage your skills in time management and stuff like that. It's a very important journey, and it is a journey that I encourage 100%.
I can't wait to be a part of it also. LaCory Gibbons, Kwame Dowridge, and Greg Agard Belgrave. December the 4th is the day on which we know who will be the outstanding parish ambassadors and who will be the attendant of the year as well. I can only wish you the very best going forward. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Great work thus far. Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll get an update on the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Well, it's me. Time for us to get an update on the news. Once again, here is Wendy Burke.
Thank you, Pearson. LIAT 1974 limited workers here and in the other 9 islands where it operated are being offered a 50% compassionate payment and not severance by the Antiguan government. A letter sent to the staff dated November 19th says the Cabinet of Antigua and Barbuda met on the 17th and discussed the 120 million Eastern Caribbean dollars owed to former staff, which comprises severance and other liabilities. The letter from the Cabinet Secretary makes it clear that the Gaston-bound government accepts no responsibility for severance, but will offer 50% of the severance liability as a compassionate payment. Morning Report spoke with Patterson Thompson, the president of the Pilots Association. Using a hypothetical payout of $200,000 in severance across the board with all entitlements, half would work out to $100,000 of this amount. A third is in land, $33,000, then 33% in 10-year bonds, and the other $33,000 as a credit toward the purchase of land. Thompson told Morning Report this will not cut it. He believes that all the shareholders have a moral obligation to take care of the former staff, and Prime Minister Gaston Brown should honor the owed entitlements. Also, his waiver of the alien land license is a good move because you can sell the land without penalty.
This is not a case that Barbados will only pay wages and those people who work in Barbados. They have a moral responsibility, Ms. Burke, to take care of all the workers who work for LIAT. But are they really for labor if you're going to take these positions? And my point to you is, Ms. Burke, because of politics and because of how divisive LIAT was over the years, we are divided, we stand, united we stand, divided we fall right now. So one person going in one direction, nobody has heard anything from the current other than he only wanted to pay his pensions because he has the least to pay, but that is not fair. I am saying to you that Mr. Brown should first honor what he said he would do in the meeting. Owed entitlements, pay 50% on that.
149 new COVID-19 cases have been reported from Sunday's test, 63 males and 86 females. The Best Los Santos Public Health Lab conducted 1,241 tests. The positive cases comprised 33 people under the age of 18. There are now 715 people in isolation facilities and 7,531 in home isolation. Meanwhile, one person died from the virus on Sunday. A 93-year-old woman passed away at the Harrison Point isolation facility. She was fully vaccinated. The process is now much faster and easier for Barbadians to apply for and receive energy licenses. That's the assurance from Energy Minister Carrie Simmons, who says Cabinet has approved a revised licensing regime featuring an automated system. It fast-tracks the issuance of licenses under the Electric Light and Power Act and boosts efficiencies with the process. With some of the backlog now cleared, a record number of licenses have already been issued this year when compared to 2020.
In the year 2018, Barbados was able to approve and grant a total of 59 renewable energy licenses. This year, 2021, to date, a total of 364 renewable energy licenses have thus far been approved. And that is a 600% increase in the licensing rate, with at least 3 more licensing advisory committee meetings scheduled before year end. I take the opportunity also to advise that the soft launch of the new automated system is expected to take place on the 1st of December.
A government minister is of the view that law enforcement should not be held solely responsible for the prevention of crime and violence in Barbados. Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, Dwight Sutherland, made the comment during an event to celebrate the creative work of youth. He notes this is why his ministry continues to develop creative ways to engage young people in the anti-violence campaign, which was launched earlier this year. While referring to the high numbers of incarcerated youth, Minister Sutherland believes the campaign plays a crucial role in changing destructive attitudes before it's too late.
You can't sit idly by and say we leave it to the police force. When will the police force address these issues? Police force solve crime, and at the end of the day, the crime has been committed when the law enforcers reach these young people. Then to put them in shackles, a very painful sight for parents to take them to Her Majesty's prison does. So we have a fundamental role to play as a Ministry of Youth.
Well, it's over to you now, Pearson.
Thank you, Wendy Burke. It's 9.5 minutes after 7, taking a break here, and when we come back, there's much more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're approaching 12 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. I have a question for you. I trust you have the answer for me. I'm inviting you now to give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563. It's one of those questions as simple as Simon, he made the pieman. So let's see if you know the answer. So 228-5562 or 228-5563, a question for you. And it's all compliments of Crumbs Bakery. Here comes today's Crumbs question of the day. That question is, it is known as mahi-mahi in our restaurants, but what do we call it? So it is known as mahi-mahi to all of them in the restaurants, but what do we call it? What do we call it? 228-5562 or 228-5563. I told you it's easy. So it's known as mahi-mahi in restaurants, but what do we Bajans call it? Good morning, hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Not too bad, and you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. What parish are you watching us from?
St. Michael.
Always St. Michael, nobody from the west or call. So listen, what part of St. Michael are you watching us from?
The Ivy.
Okay, and what's your first name?
Margaret.
Hello, Margaret. I think you know the answer, you know. What's the answer?
Flying fish.
Roel, tell me what to do. You call it flying fish? You're watching the TV right now?
Yeah.
Look at what I'm doing. What am I saying to you?
No.
Correct. I'm saying no. That's not right. Thank you for trying, though. All right. Thank you. No, Margaret. That's not it. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. It is known as mahi-mahi in our restaurants, but what do we call it? What do we really call it? Good morning. Hello.
Peace be unto you and yours.
Likewise to you, Gail. I know this is easy for you, right?
I don't know.
What's the answer?
Dolphin.
You sure?
Yeah.
You know, because you're lucky. You're right. You're absolutely right, Gail. How do you prepare your dolphin?
Well, sometimes I steam it, or I used to fry it, deep fry it, but I just put in a little olive oil and slow cook it and turn it from one side to the other until it's thing. But I love it seasoned well with my Bajan seasoning.
That is critical. I was waiting for you to say that. Corn it with some seasoning,
yeah.
And you have the nice piece of bone and that meat around the bone.
Oh dear!
You know,
and the thing inside, the little glue inside the bone.
You got the idea.
Anyhow,
put it in that pan and you're good to go.
With the salt, and I don't use that because fish you cannot put a lot of salt in it, but a lot of lime.
Yes, you got to cut that. So make sure it's well seasoned and you're good to go. Gail, thank you. You're absolutely right. You stay on the phone. We take some more information from you. She's right. We call it dolphin. Those other people call it mahi-mahi. But yeah, it's dolphin for us. We're going to take that break right here and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
17 after 7 right here on Morning Barbados. It is Tuesday and you know my equations, right? Tuesdays equal Dr. Birchwood. Good morning to you, Dr. Julian Birchwood.
Good morning, Pearson. Tuesdays for me equal Pearson.
You see, wonderful. I love it when it reciprocates in the same way. So today we're going to be looking in our pediatric care segment at those top 5 things that parents have when they're dealing with their toddlers. But for a lot of people, the confusion is, what is a toddler? What age are we talking about here?
Yes, that's a good question. So toddlers refer to the walking pattern that little ones have when they start learning how to walk. They don't walk in the same adult way, they toddle along.
Yes.
So that's children from age 1 to about 3 or 4, depending on what definition you're looking at. But most people will think from age 1 to about age 3 years old.
Okay, so now we're clear on that, folks. If you have a little one, from 1 to 3, toddling along, trying to assert themselves, we're talking to you. And you may have some concerns, one of which could be that child just would not eat. And so, you know, we pull our hair out trying to figure out, why isn't this child eating in the way we think it should eat? What do you say? Should I be concerned?
You know, eating problems are perceived eating problems, I should say, are incredibly common with parents. And we have to realize why toddlers' appetites are quite different from how they would have been during the first year of life. So during the first year of life, that little baby will triple their birth weight. So imagine if I'm 100 pounds now, which I'm not, and then next year this time I'm 300 pounds.
Yes.
You can imagine that's tremendous weight gain. So for a little baby, during that first year of life, they gain weight so fast, they eat and eat and eat to keep up. But after that first year, you know, from just after 12 months, their growth rate slows down because they don't need to grow so fast. And so their appetite drops right off. And parents can be quite alarmed and wonder why their previously voracious baby suddenly isn't eating much at all. So it is actually a very normal transition, and parents should expect that, and they should not worry when their appetite drops off after a year of age. It's normal.
You say so to me, but you know, I could just see the frustration because you're trying to introduce new tastes and textures to the child, and somehow everything is rejecting, and you're wondering, is this child growing properly? Am I fully nourishing this child? And you're saying, don't panic too much. It's all part of the process.
Yes, it is absolutely part of the process. So, you know, toddlers are also discovering what they like and what they don't like. So they get very picky. They don't need to eat as much. So now they're much more picky, and their appetite will change from 1 week to the next. Yes. So, you know, this week, I love bananas. I only want bananas. Next week, bananas are the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I'm going to throw it on the floor for you. Don't bring me bananas. That's normal for toddlers as well, which can be incredibly frustrating for parents.
Yes.
But don't worry about it. There are a few things that you should do as a parent. One is let your toddler listen to their body. Because what happens is your toddler might have had a pretty big breakfast from your toddler's point of view. However, by lunchtime, they're not hungry anymore. And then you give them a big bowl of food and they are not hungry. So they're going to push that food away. Let them learn to adapt to their own hunger signals, not yours.
Yes.
And so if they're not hungry at lunch, leave them alone. They're going to be hungry in a little bit. Keep the food, and when the time comes, then you can offer them the same food that they refused earlier. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't try to bribe them, and definitely don't try to force them, or you're going to end up with a major battle on your hands every mealtime, which is very unpleasant for parents, as we know.
I guess we all know. But then night sets in, and this child, you're trying to have the child sleep on its own, but it just wouldn't because it wants always to be with the parent. So is that a cause for concern when this child just wouldn't settle or settle on its own?
It's very frustrating for parents. Nobody likes getting kicked in the face and elbowed in the chest all night long with the toddler who's sleeping in the bed with you. We've all had black and blues from the toddler, and they sleep very well. But I think it is not a good habit to encourage co-sleeping over a long period of time. I always tell parents, if you want to have another one, you need to get the first one out of bed. But, you know, one of the things that you need to do is recognize that you may have encouraged that. So if, for example, you from the very beginning have had the baby in the bed with you, they're going to expect that older than 3 years old. So you have to set the tone for their expectations. If you don't train the toddler, they train you. So it means that if you have your little one in the bed with you all the time, you need to start gradually getting them to be more independent. For example, you can put a mattress in a safe place in your room on the floor so they can't roll off. Put them there if they've been stuck in your bed and say, yes, you can sleep in mommy and daddy's room, but you're going to have to sleep on the mattress on the floor right here. Then when they get accustomed to that, then that mattress needs to move into their own room. And as a parent, you might come and sleep on the mattress on the floor next to them when they are in their own crib. I'm right here. You don't need to be with me at all times, but I'm right here next to you. When they get accustomed to that, then you start moving that mattress further and further away to the door and then just outside the door. It is a gradual process. They don't have to be screaming and crying, but you have to be consistent and firm so that they'll realize that they can cope, and you give them the encouragement not to be emotionally dependent on you for everything. So it's really important to set the tone for your toddler and have a steady bedtime routine.
Yeah, that's true. Eventually they'll get it. You know, as much as they're mobile, they'll climb off that mattress and they'll come right back to you. They'll do what they want to do for their own comfort. But you have to be consistent and persistent as well. You know, I'll lead you back to your room, you sleep there, and those kinds of things. So I got that bit. Tantrums though, you know, it's perhaps one of the most annoying thing a parent has to deal with. The child throws a tantrum, wants to roll on the ground, stamp feet, and you just want to use your 5 fingers a little bit sometimes. Not the right thing to do, but you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. I'm a parent, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. That dreaded supermarket moment, you know. They pick the most embarrassing times. But, you know, you have to look at what causes tantrums for toddlers. So you have to look at the underlying triggers. The most common cause for a tantrum, and every parent will know this, is pure manipulation. I want that. I don't want that. You don't give it to me, I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to have a horrible tantrum. It's going to be a wonderful performance like you've never seen before. So when you have those manipulation tantrums, the first thing you have to do with any tantrum, whether it's from manipulation or not, is to remain calm. And frankly, you might have to fake it till you make it with the remain calm part. You have to at least look calm so that you can remain in control of the situation. So if it's for manipulation, you will very calmly say, no, I am not going to give you the entire chocolate bar. You can't have it. And then you are going to stay firm and resolute, and you're going to wait out that tantrum. Because if you respond by giving in, you are reinforcing that behavior. The second type of tantrum is, you took me shopping when I was, you know, due to have a nap. I didn't eat my lunch, and now I'm melting down. So that type of tantrum, you really need to address the underlying trigger. Don't take your toddler, you know, shopping or expect them to do things when they're tired and hungry. So you have to not set yourself and the toddler up for that sort of scenario. So be aware of those sorts of triggers. And if they're already having a tantrum, then by all means, for that type of tantrum, step in and do help. They're sleepy, they're hungry, you address their needs and understand that they're trying to deal with those big feelings of I'm exhausted and I'm hungry and I don't know how to tell you, for example. And then the third type of tantrum. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
The third type of tantrum is I'm trying to work out how to do this task and I can't get it done. And I'm very frustrated and I don't know how to say so. And so they get very upset. You know, I'm trying to fit the round peg into the square hole. It's not going to work out. You can step in and guide at those times and acknowledge why they feel so frustrated. I understand why you feel upset. Let's do it this way. That can be helpful as well.
And that's what I wanted to come to when I was coming in just now, because oftentimes it's the child just trying to assert its own individuality. The child feels it's operating in an adult world, but it recognizes as well that I don't have the capacity that the adult has. And so they become frustrated and they show it in a way that we call a tantrum. And it's an opportunity for us, I think, to guide and to teach how, as it grows, to be able to manage their emotions and manage those situations as they go. So I agree completely with you. But most of all, like all of us, none of us wants to be in a state of irritation when somebody wants us to do something we don't want to do. So why do we pose that on our children? And that's the thing we always as adults, I think, need to have in our minds. They're just people too. So if you just woke me and you want me to go for a walk, I don't want to go for a walk. So
Correct.
understand my position right now. Now, I think one of the most interesting parts of a toddler's development is potty time. I think it is so interesting to watch how eventually they know when their body movements are happening and they know where to go. I think that's so fun.
Yes. Well, fun is an interesting choice of words for potty training.
I know.
Sometimes it's anything but. But you know, the first step is to recognize when your child is ready for potty training, because sometimes parents have unrealistic expectations. So you have to look out for the signs of readiness. And that could be anywhere from about 1.5 years, which is pretty early, but some children are, all the way up to 2.5 years or older. And it really depends on your child. So some of the signals you need to look out for: can my child stay dry for at least 2 hours? One of the other signals can be, does my child feel uncomfortable when they have passed urine or stool, or are they happy to sit around squelching in it? Do they have a word for number 1 and number 2? Do they understand what a toilet is for? Usually by that age, whether you like it or not as a parent, you have a toilet buddy. So they know what's going on in the toilet. They follow you in the bathroom, whether you like it or not. There's no privacy for parents. But they must understand what's happening and what's expected in there as well. So those are the signs of readiness. Then you can look to start with potty training itself, which is really routine.
Precisely.
Go every 2 hours to the bathroom. Every 2 hours, just go. Talk about it, sit on the potty for 15 minutes, pass the time away playing a game, talk about it. And then you get up and you go and you're back again in 2 hours. Routine is the key.
And that's the fun part I'm talking about, leading them to the little seat. Have a seat, have a sit. We will sit there, we will talk, we will play, whatever, until you're done. And then we go through the processes. And that's the fun part I'm talking about. Just and then eventually seeing them knowing when and to be able to do it on their own. That part of the development is truly amazing. I like it.
Yeah.
I must tell you. And then how do I ensure, you have a child and you're watching other people's children as well. And you're wondering, is my child learning about everything? And is my child learning at the pace of others? And is my child learning enough? So what do you say to that parent who has that particular challenge?
Yes, parents are always concerned about whether their child is growing and developing in the correct way. And so, it's true that you don't want to compare your child, but comparison can sometimes be helpful. So for example, if you notice that your toddler is speaking very differently from other toddlers their age, don't just sit at home and say, well, it's probably nothing. You really do need to carry your child in to see your child's pediatrician or doctor if you are concerned about anything with their development. So comparison is helpful. It can also be reassuring. But in order to make sure that your child is learning, you need to intentionally create the right environment at home, which is one of continuous learning. Toddlers are naturally curious little people, and so you should definitely encourage that curiosity, respond to it, and engage. For parents to create that learning environment at home, please put down your phone or come off of the TV and engage with your child. You spend that time with them. And don't think that putting a tablet in front of them with educational shows is going to be a substitute for that interaction that you should be having with them. There's nothing more, instructive for a child than sitting with a parent and talking about something, or going for a walk outside and pointing out there's a plane in the sky, or these are leaves, look at a dog over there. Just having a simple conversation and talking about what you see can really teach them a lot. You can sit and play with them at home to create that right learning environment. Doesn't mean you have to play with them all day, but you do need to spend the time engaging with your child and responding to their questions, not with annoyance, but with enthusiasm, so that they will learn a lot about what is going on around them. So you have to intentionally create a learning environment for your child to create a lifelong learner.
Indeed. Oh, I'm smiling because I feel as if I'm doing the right things. Thank you so much, Dr. Birchwood, as always, for joining us on a Tuesday morning. There's so much we can learn from all of it. And while some of it is medical, a lot of it is also psychosocial. And that's the part of the full development of the child. And today we focus on the toddler. As usual, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday, if it be God's will.
Thank you very much, Pearson. Have a great day.
You do too. Thank you so much. Dr. Gillian Birchwood, our pediatrician, joining us this morning. A break. And when we come back, Agent Sharita. Here we go. It's our moment of truth. We're connecting now with Agent Sharita. Good morning to Agent Sharita. Agent Sharita reporting for Jimmy.
Good morning, Pearson. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. As usual, it's a Tuesday morning, and those tips that you're offering are always very, very worthy of information for a lot of people. Today, we want to look at how to be a top host in the short-term rental market. And I suspect you're talking here about people who are opening up their property for other people to use, right?
Yes. So many people nowadays are using Airbnb. That's just the name of a hosting company online. But of course, there are plenty others. Bookings.com, VRBO, which stands for Vacation Rental by Owner, Owners Direct. There are many of them. So quite a few people use a mixture of 3 or 4 to try to pull in as much revenue as possible. And you can use these sites to help you make top dollar, but you don't just want your place to be, a short-term spot where people come and crash. You want them to have it as an inviting home, so they feel welcome, they tell others, and then they often come back themselves.
Right. So I want to make sure that I rise to the top. I want to be the cream. I want to make sure that people know about me. They enjoy my experience, the experience I'm offering, and so they want to repeat that experience. So what do you suggest that I should start considering so that I become one of the top people, the top choices?
Well, it all starts with the welcome. So when Pearson books my home, I can't just, take the book and say, all right, thanks, buddy, see you 2026. Hi, Pearson. Looking forward to welcoming you to my country. We have so much on offer. A nice little welcome note sets the tone, and it makes the client feel, okay, this is a good start. And once you have started like that and give them an expectation of the country, the property, they come eager and in a good mood, not looking to pick things apart. So always set the tone with a nice welcome message. As simple as that.
But that means that when I'm contacting you, I'd like you to respond as quickly as I can, because urgency, not urgency as in you must rush it, but I'd like to think that in a timely manner you respond to my request for space.
Yes, I know, for example, when I am traveling, I send out multiple queries. So I might see 3 or 4 properties that I like, and I send off messages to those hosts. If you take 3 days to get back to me, as cute as your apartment is,
that's right.
You're not the host for me, because what happens if I have a challenge in that apartment? I will struggle in there by myself. So your response time is critical. Always try to respond within 24 hours. Remember, you're in a competition with other hosts of other properties.
And part of that competition also is about the property itself too. So showcasing it at its best and ensuring that what I show is the reality, and not show a perfect picture and then the experience I have is something that's really different.
Listen, if you go those professional photos of your property, the property has to look like the sexy professional photos.
That's right.
As plain and simple as that. Whatever promoting has to exist in reality. And you always want to make sure you have there are some must-haves that should be there when a person is coming to stay. So let's use a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom as a common short-term experience. I always recommend have a sofa bed. Why? Because immediately you can increase your occupancy from 1 or 2 persons up to 2 adults and 2 kids, for example, or 2 adults and a friend. So a simple thing like a sofa bed in that living room helps you pull in more revenue when necessary. And that is usually around the seasonal time. So like Christmas, Easter, people tend to travel in bigger groups. But then in the shoulder season, off season, you might have a single person or a double person, or 2 persons, and then you go back to your regular scheduled programming. If you have a primary suite, make the effort to have a queen or king bed. Don't put a little peony bed in the primary suite. Okay? They're coming for comfort. So have something big. Have nightstands. If I come and sleep in a bed, I at least want a little place to roll over and put a glass of water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it sounds basic, but these little things add to comfort.
Mm-hmm.
TV and internet nowadays are a must unless you
Yes.
are some countryside retreat. Have TV, have internet, and listen to this, don't feel that you have to go and necessarily sign up for cable or satellite TV. The trend nowadays, once you have internet TV, invest in what is known as their brands like Fire Stick or anything like that you can simply stick into the TV, and it gives you TV channels running off the internet. And then if somebody uses, for example, Netflix, they can put in their own code using that Fire Stick and pull up their own Netflix channels from wherever they came from. So don't believe that you have to invest in a cable or satellite system.
Mind you, because of what we do here, that investment is a very good investment. You are sure to have a wonderful experience once you invest in MCTV.
Yes.
But I understand what you're talking about. To offer the convenience of having that luxury of knowing that I can have my entertainment channels and my news channels accessed as well, and to be able to offer that. Or if I want to go via the internet, I can do so too, to surf the World Wide Web. So you're quite right on that score. But communication is what is critical, that I do have the ability to connect outside of this room with other people elsewhere.
Yes, yes. Other recommendations I have, make sure your cooking game is on in terms of have, you know, at least 2 frying pans, a large and a small, 2 pots, a large and a small, and the basic cooking utensils that persons would need. Also, if you're catering to up to 4 people, make sure you have 4 big plates, 4 small plates, 4 cups, 4 saucers, 4 glasses, and that type of thing is pretty standard. Make sure the room has, of course, adequate towels and linen to suit up to the number of persons you're dealing with. An ironing board is a must.
Yes.
People are traveling with stuff rolled up in a bag. They need that comfort. And a full-length mirror. Yes, don't assume that everyone knows to put that in.
Yes,
Put in
yes.
a full-length mirror. And last but not least, for those of you who, like me, would not prefer, I don't prefer the meet and greet option where I'm at the property every time someone comes. So out of laziness, you can invest in a keyless system, meaning that when that person is traveling, they have a self check-in feature where about 4 hours before they get to the property, you email them the code for the door. They check themselves in.
Wow.
And it saves the hassle of anyone having to even be there to meet them. So that's an option.
That's quite true. So if you're entering this as one of the hosts, don't see this as to be, you know, a quick cash, in and out. No, you have to make the investment. You have to make the investment for your client's benefit, because your client wants to make sure that they have a very seamless and happy experience at your property. And if it means investing in that keyless opportunity, then invest in it. But most of all, you know, just make sure that you're accessible if anything should go wrong, you know?
Correct. I'm going to give you some quick tips here before I go. Also, don't feel that you have to have a TV in every single bedroom. If you want to minimize wear and tear in that bed, just have one TV in the main living room. You want them to sleep in there only and come out. That's how you minimize wear and tear of your linens. So, and also too, in terms of the amenities, nowadays the trend, obviously, with safety, thanks to viruses and bacteria, invest in some individual shampoos and little bottles of soap, and even a toothpaste kit if somebody forgot theirs. Those types of things add to the value.
Do I factor that into the rate at which I charge these individuals per night? Or do I just add that that's just comfort I'm offering?
Yeah, when you're setting your rate, you will kind of know, you know, look around. You can check these websites to see what the going rate is for something similar in, let's say, Dover or Oxnard. And you look at that rate and see how you compare. And then you make sure that per night, if you know in one stay you might be spending $40 just on little amenities and knickknacks, you know, divide that by, let's say, the length of stay and get a daily rate. And that would add that on to what you kind of had as your, so if you said you wanted $90, but you know that you're spending X amount on amenities, you might need to make that 95 US dollars a night just to make sure you cover your costs.
Indeed. Laundry. You know, I'm one of those travelers. I want to do my laundry. I want to do my laundry. So in
Me
terms
too.
of, yeah, you do, right? So
Yeah.
should that also be a part of my consideration when I'm putting my property up as an option for people to choose?
I believe so, especially if your property is the type that would encourage long stays. I'm one of these people that I like to do my laundry before I leave a country, so when I come
Yes,
home,
I got that to do.
it is done. Yes. So especially those properties that encourage 1 and 2 week stays, and people would want to do laundry in between.
Yeah.
A stackable washer dryer is a great asset. You can tuck it away in a cupboard, or even if you just have a washing machine but a convenient line drying area, I do believe it is something that you should consider when putting together a short-term rental.
So there's so many things that we need to consider as we're doing this as one of those who are into the short-term rental business. One, it is important that we respond to communication as quickly as possible, with at least within 24 hours. Let that client know that I'm paying attention, your business is important to me, and I'm here and available to respond to any of your questions at all. The meet and greet, you say, is also absolutely critical because you're setting a tone. You're setting a tone for your property, but you're also assuring this particular renter that, you know, I'm accessible. I'm the kind of person that you can feel comfortable in talking to and sharing that experience with as well, because I want you to walk away to tell others about that happy experience you would have had with me. Making sure that I pay attention to all of the amenities, you know, from linen to furnishings to cutlery and crockery to suit, and that sofa bed, that sofa bed a pull out is critical because I can now upscale how many people are in the particular property as well, and all of those other comfort creatures that we would want to have so that that individual or those individuals do have the best experience. I think that's so very, very important. In terms of marketing though, because I want to make sure that I'm found in that sea of people who are also doing the same thing, what do you recommend I consider so that I can rise to the top of the cream?
First of all, pictures tell a tale. Let's be honest. If you or I are going traveling, we have a limited time with an infinite amount of information to make a decision.
Yeah.
Pictures grab people. So, you know, take the effort to get proper photos, proper lighting. Oh my God, some photos I have seen and I was like, you are not trying. You're not trying. And tell the story of the property and also the environs. Where can I go to if I live here? Make it an authentic experience for me. So I say, this is the place. And also make yourself seem accessible. As I said, even if you don't want to be there on the initial meet and greet, make yourself seem like the person that is going to send a check-in message. When you check in, there'll be a message there telling you about the, you know, the Wi-Fi code and all the housekeeping notes and so forth. And you keep that line of communication, which minimizes them coming at you. Right? So those are things to take into consideration for sure.
In other words, exceed the expectation. I love it. Agent Sharita, as always, thank you so very much. I feel a whole lot more comfortable. I think a lot of people do too, that they can now safely enter this market space and become a top seller, a renter of their particular property as well. Thank you so much as always for joining us.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome too. Agent Sharita, remember you can contact her at 233-8888, 233-8888, or Barbados Real Estate 246 on social media. Agent Sharita. We're taking a break here and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados. So we're 8 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock. And look, one of my dreams just came true. I have boxing gloves, and Thorn is even close enough for me to just give him one box. But good morning to you, Thorn.
I would just like to say to you that wishful thinking is a thing.
Yeah.
You understand? Mornin Pearson, morning everybody, Mornin Barbados. I am sure. Right. So you know, like I said, for the month of November, we're featuring either a former national athlete or a national athlete, and today, guys, we have both. So I want to welcome Ronald Alves and Jabali Brady to the show. Two very, very, very sound fighters. And when it comes to boxing, so today we're just going to talk a little bit about how you can apply that to some of the exercises to daily life. Because, you know, immediately when people think about boxing, Pearson, you know, they think about, wow, I get hit.
Yes.
Don't hit me, and if somebody hit me, I get hit about hard, right? So we don't get there yet. We don't get there yet. So they're going to tell you a bit about their experiences right now. Jabali is like the 5th in his weight class right now, and you know he's moving up because, you know, we get for that #1 spot all the way, right? And Ronald has a wealth of experience. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that, you know?
Well, boxing for me started at age 13. It's something that, if only as a way to do something I love, which was fight, without getting in trouble for doing it.
Fair.
And I feel like that's where discipline, we really learned about being disciplined, how to be self-disciplined, how to maintain your composure, how to develop patience, etc. So boxing was a life-changing thing for me, and it became a dream to the point where I wanted to make that my career path.
Yeah, that sounds like quite a few things that you can actually take into daily life when you work first. So you don't think so, Pearson, in terms of like patience and, you know, a level of concentration that you need to have in order not to strangle that workmate that always, you know,
absolutely
messing with your stuff.
Absolutely. Look at you and me every Tuesday morning. Patience, don't strangle that work colleague. Yeah.
So Jabali, tell us about, you know, what you have going on like right now. Right now. Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna tell you about my experience at first.
Right.
My experience, like I was a athlete. I was a very good athlete.
Right.
My first time watching boxing, I watched Al's. I watched my brother in the
big
in DV South things.
Yeah.
And the same minute I said I want to do boxing, so I just started doing boxing. I was boxing from 12 years old, going to school, Parkinson, and then I just keep going with it. It just give me good discipline, but I was still getting in trouble now and then.
Right.
And this guy here always just keep me on the right path. You know what I mean? So boxing right now, my goal is to be a world champion. You know what I mean?
Love that. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about that. So, fun fact, Pearson, all three of us came from the same gym. Same boxing gym.
Good.
Ronald was there before me. When I got there, I think Brady was there as well, but your brother, Kabaya, was there at the time. It was the real animal at the time. So what are you going to go through now? You're going to go through a couple run-throughs. I can let it take away. I can step back a little bit, you know, before things get testy. All right.
Jump. Describe what they're doing, Thor.
Right, so right now, this is like pad work, right? So Ronald could explain it more than I could in regards to where it is, because I'm generally good with box fitness, right? So the two are not synonymous. They're definitely not. So this is going to help him learn depth perception, work on his combinations, that kind of work. So the thing about the pad, the person holding the pad, they're just as important as the person who is actively boxing, because you don't want to be slapping the glove, and you want to, your depth perception has to be good as well, and your hand-eye coordination for where you're placing the glove, so that the athlete can get enough that their arm isn't hyperextending, but enough that they can get enough power to hit the glove and hit their target, and that's what it's really about. When he gives him like slips and stuff like that to do, another fun fact when it comes to boxing. Boxing is actually more about not getting hit than hitting. Now, that was my first experience when I was boxing. Big shout out to Coach Gary. He would say that, you know, you got to learn how not to get hit before you hit somebody.
Right.
All right.
You guys are tired now, right? You got it. I would be.
See, the plan was to get Pearson involved today. You know what I mean? But Pearson got gloves. Pearson eased off to the side today, but we can get him next time.
So tell me what body parts were they working out, just so that we can get a sense of, you know, the health benefits.
Health benefits, yes. So I'll let Ronald do that.
The biggest one just now would have been the heart. Boxing is very, very heavy, involved with the cardiovascular system. So along with the arms, because boxing is a full body thing. Everybody think it's just your arms, it's your legs, it's your core, it's the arms, it's the chest, it's the shoulders, it's the back. Full body, but the biggest muscle again, the work, the heart.
The heart.
All right, so you guys might be wondering,
heart and the lungs.
How do you apply that to daily life? So for even before, and we were talking about that on the way in, even before you get into a ring or anything like that with anybody, there's so much training that has to go. And like Ronald was saying, it was a year before he even got into the ring or anything like that. And if you're dealing with somebody who is an experienced coach and is going to see what your goals are, you might just say, you know what, I just want to be able to protect myself a little better. You want to generate some great cardio. It is perfect for that. So tell us a bit about your experiences with some of your clients.
Ah, boy. My clients, a lot of them come with this perception in the mind of what boxing is. They think that boxing is, again, an upper body workout, something that I can just get to hit, and that's it. I won't feel too tired. I'll be able to handle a full hour. Most people want to be done by the first 20 minutes. 20 minutes into the session, they think, yeah, we done. Can't handle no more. You know, I had an experience with a national athlete, another one, a runner, one of the top in Barbados. And when he came to the gym to do some sparring, he can't last the first round. That's 3 minutes.
Wow.
So there's a huge difference between running, the fitness you'll get from running, and what you'll get from boxing. They call it ring fitness. Completely different. So
Thorn, would you suggest this is something I need to incorporate then when I come to the gym as part of the routine towards becoming fitter?
You mean you in general, or you mean the general public?
Anyone wants that, to be more precise.
Just saying, because they say, person, when you were to square, we could square up, right? Right, but yeah, I definitely say it's about incorporating different things into your fitness routine to make it interesting. And this is definitely one of those things, especially it's therapeutic. You get to hit stuff. Who doesn't want to hit stuff sometimes? Come on, right? Same thing that he was saying, you go on the bike, and at the same time where it can be therapeutic, you get to release some mental stress, you get an excellent workout, right? You get that opportunity to really sweat and totally get into it from, if you want to be angry, if you want to you're just having a good day, you can just throw all that into the bike from the jump, right? So there's a learning curve for it where that's concerned. So like we're saying to you guys, this is something that you can apply to your workout routine. It does not have to feel like you're going to get ready to fight somebody.
Right. All right, folks, don't forget he's Mr. Califit246. Remember, you can also drop in an email to califit246@gmail.com. And Thorn and his crew will be able to respond to you as well.
Definitely.
As usual, Thorn,
yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Thank the guys, man, Thorn.
Yeah, big shout out to Zen Life Fitness. And you can follow him as well at Jabali Brady on both of them on Instagram. And thank you guys for having us here this morning.
As always. So don't forget, for our little crew of Alicia Alves Grant, my producer, Ruel Ford, our technical director, there is Christopher Blenman, who is at our sound control, Ryan Kennedy, who is at master control, Big Brown inside the studio with us at the moment. We want to thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Good.
Barbados, get up. Good morning.
Thank you much.